Hi guys, what's up? This is lesson 10. This time we are going to color these characters. Let's start with the broccoli. I'm applying a base color and then I'll add some more details later on. I'll do a similar thing with the other characters, so let's go bit by bit. After applying the base color, we'll give some variation to the tones. As I said in other courses, I usually work in only one layer, but in this occasion I have a very clean drawing. I'll be changing layers. For example, I have one for the eyes, another one for the basketball, etc. So we are going to clean up the drawing step by step, and then we'll be filling the shapes until we have it with all flat colors. Okay. For example, the eyes. Like I said, use flat colors. Well, you can start adding the highlights to complete the drawings. What else I was going to say? Okay, don't remember. Oh yeah, regarding the shadows and the blending modes, the multiplied mode darkens the image and the screen mode lightens up the color you're working with. In my case, I'll fill the headband with a solid color. To be precise, with three flat colors actually. Then I'll apply the multiplied mode to give some volume or depth to the headband. Okay, and what about the color palette? You'll have to take into account which veggie or fruit you are working on. If you are working on a broccoli, yeah, you could use pink, but as we are following a clear reference, which is a real photograph, we know that broccoli is green, not pink, right? So, having said that, if you have doubts about the colors, take a look at your references. Regarding the shadows, you can try imagining that there is a light source. For example, let's say that our light source comes from the top. This way, you can think about how the shadows will be placed. If you don't know how to manage lights and shadows, there are some courses at Toothpad which teach you about color theory and the use of lights and shadows, and they are really cool. So you could also try using a flashlight, for example, or any other thing that emits light, and then place an object under it to see how the light and the shadows are working. Well, guys, as you can see, I'm applying the final colors to give volume to my character, such as darker and more saturated tones. But guys, never use black. Please don't use black for the shading and don't use white for the lighting. I forbid it. Please don't do this. Try using more saturated tones that lean towards the right side of Photoshop color picker. As you can see, for the highlights, I'm using lighter tones than the ones already on the drawing. There are still some parts to fill. And you also have to be aware that I needed a lot of time to color this character. It's a long and tedious task, but it's worth it. because you can print, replicate, copy, modify, transform, which is something we cannot do if we were doing this the traditional way. Think of it as a long-term drawing with a lot of uses. I think that the top part of the character, which would represent the hair, is too bright. So what I'm going to do is change it and make it darker. I'll also try to give some volume to see how it looks. Yeah, in any case, well, I'm not really happy with the result. Actually. I'm not too convinced. Don't know. And as I said before, I'm just darkening the tone using a higher saturation. Well, guys, I don't like this, so I'm just going to apply a base color to fill the top shape. Yeah, I prefer this way. And well, now I'll be adding some highlights and shadows to see what could be the final aesthetics. For example, as I was telling you before, this top shape has no outlines, but this is to see if it fits within the rest. It also gives me the chance to try different things with the color. And in case I don't like it, I can do the inking after. But I think I'm going to leave it this like it is. What do you think? I think it's fine. Okay. Like I told you before, the light source is on the top, so the top part will be lighter than the bottom part. See how it is looking? You can try adding even more dark tones, giving more shading or less shading, or playing with green tones. I think this is good. And I don't mind the lack of a black outline actually. Well, guys, so you can see my color palette for the broccoli has mostly green and yellow tones. This means that there aren't much different colors such as purple or red. I didn't need to move around a lot on the color picker. If you're not convinced, remember that you can try with darker colors and have more shading. Just play around. Alright, the body is done. Let's color the basketball, which will be the last element for this character. Fill it first with a flat color, and then clean up any excess, and having the ball selected, apply darker and more saturated colors to it so that it has more volume. The same happens if you use lighter colors like this yellowish orange color I picked. I applied this lighter tone on the bottom part to give more volume to the ball and emphasize its spherical shape. And as it's a basketball, I looked for the details that have this kind of balls, as well as the rough texture on them, which I'm trying to replicate using dots. Now you can create a new layer and apply a different blending mode to darken the bottom part, which I think is too bright. And this is the end of the lesson. The next one will be a speeded up video showing how I colored the rest of the characters. So I hope that you liked this one and see you in the next one. Bye!